The Staircase is an American true crime streaming television miniseries created by Antonio Campos, based on the 2004 true crime docuseries of the same name, created by Jean-Xavier de Lestrade. The series stars Colin Firth as Michael Peterson, a crime novelist who is accused of bludgeoning his wife Kathleen Peterson, played by Toni Collette, to death after she is found dead at the bottom of the staircase in their home. As the investigation continues, the family is thrown into tumultuous legal battle. Meanwhile, a French documentary team takes an interest in the story. The series premiered on HBO Max on May 5th, 2022. The series is a passion project for Antonio Campos, who began developing a scripted adaptation of the true crime docuseries The Staircase in 2008. On November 1st, 2019, it was announced that Annapurna Television had officially put the project into development and was shopping the project to premium networks and streaming services. Campos was attached to write the series as well as executive produce, alongside Harrison Ford. On September 22, 2020, during an interview about his new film The Devil of All Time with Rian Johnson for Interview magazine, Campos revealed HBO Max had landed the project for development. He later said, "This has been a project I've been working on in one way or another since 2008. It's been a long and winding road, but well worth the wait to be able to find partners like HBO Max, and the incredible Colin Firth to dramatize such a complex, true-life story." Harrison Ford was initially set to star in the lead role of Michael Peterson before being replaced by Colin Firth in March 2021. The following month, Toni Collette joined the cast in the lead role, with the rest of the cast also joining in May 2021. The cast includes Colin Firth as Michael Peterson, a novelist and political hopeful living in Durham, North Carolina. His finances and his personal life become the focus of investigation and documentary. Toni Collette as Kathleen Peterson, his second wife and mother to Kathleen. She was a high-powered executive and well-liked by her family and community until she is found dead. Michael Stumberg as David Rudolph, Michael's defense attorney. Dane DeHaan as Clayton Peterson, Michael Peterson's oldest son from his first marriage, who has his own legal issues from his past. Olivia de Jong as Kathleen Atwater, Kathleen's daughter from her first marriage. She initially supports her stepfather, before later turning against him. Patrick Schwarzenegger as Todd Peterson, Michael's youngest son from his first marriage. Sophie Turner as Margaret Ratliff, Michael's daughter whom he adopted after her biological parents' deaths. Odessa Young as Martha Ratliff, Michael's other adopted daughter. Rosemary DeWitt as Candace Hunt Zamperini, Kathleen's sister. Parker Posey as Frida Black, a Durham County prosecutor. Juliette Binoche as Sophie Burnett, the editor of the original documentary, who later forms a relationship with Michael. And finally, Vincent Vermingam as Jean-Xavier, the director of the original documentary. Now, members of the original documentary team have criticized the series, with creator Jean-Xavier de Lestrade saying he felt very uncomfortable because he felt he had been betrayed. The original documentary team in particular criticized the series for misrepresenting the relationship between Sophie Brunet and Peterson, for suggesting that the team made editorial choices in order to portray Peterson in a more sympathetic way, and for falsely attributing work done by producer Alan Lunchek and Dennis Ponso instead. David Rudolph also raised concerns about the series' factual accuracy, saying that there were many things in the first 5 episodes which I've seen that are inaccurate, misleading, and outright false. As well as Michael Peterson himself criticized the series, saying that he hadn't been informed that the series was being made, and accused de Lestrade of selling out the story to HBO. In an Instagram post on 28th of May 2022, Todd Peterson, son of Michael Peterson, described the HBO docuseries as inaccurate and poorly researched. His caption wrote, "HBO, the danger of hiring evil people to make movies for you. Their evil is reflected in their work, and that evil is absorbed by your viewing audience. And the evil director, Antonio Campos, should be blackballed by Hollywood and never be allowed to work ever again." In the early episodes, Frida Black, played here by Parker Posey, is shown sneaking small bottles of alcohol into her coffee cups. In real life, Black, who worked as an assistant prosecutor for the Durham County from 1991 to 2005, was arrested for 2 DWIs during 2012 and 2015. When she died in July 2018, her autopsy showed that her cause of death was an end-of-stage liver disease due to chronic alcoholism. Frequently throughout the series, Michael and Kathleen Peterson refer to their son Clayton's spring break incident. For several episodes, this incident is not explained. In real life, in 1994, when Clayton Peterson was a freshman at Duke University, he lost his fake IDs just before leaving for spring break to Myrtle Beach. Clayton broke into Duke admin building to steal photo identification printer and equipment. As a diversion, he planted a lit fuse to non-functional pipe bomb. When the ATF executed a search warrant at Clayton's parents' house in Durham, agents found 6 additional pipe bombs in the attic. He was charged federally, convicted, and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Now, as the saying goes, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and this series really epitomizes that famous cliché. To say Michael Peterson is a complicated man would be an understatement. He is a completely enigmatic person with many different aspects to his personality. And for me, Colin Firth brings this to life perfectly with an outstanding performance. The whole story around Kathleen Peterson's death has always been fascinating, and the question has always lingered: did Michael actually kill her, or did she just fall? Or was there an owl, for example, that attacked her that night, leading to the unexplainable scars on the top of her head? There's been so many theories over the years to how this woman actually died. Colin now brings out many sides to the Michael Peterson character. Initially, you start off the show finding him quite distant, arrogant, aloof, and quite annoying at times, and you immediately start the show thinking, well, there's no doubt in my mind this man did this crime. As the show progresses, though, and you see another side to him, you start to now empathize with him a bit, and you start to believe, well, maybe he didn't do this. But by the end of the series, through Michael Peterson's own suppressed homosexuality, his fabricated lies of being a war hero from Vietnam, you have to ask the question, what is this man really about, and what really happened that night? Toni Collette is absolutely superb in this role, and it's an incredibly demanding, difficult role. Particularly, there are times in the show where they recreate the death scene, as it were, from different perspectives, and I cannot imagine that could have been easy to play that. It's very physically demanding and awfully macabre to watch her literally dying before your eyes. It's another stellar performance here by Michael Stuhlbarg, who just cannot put a foot wrong, but he's more of a supporting player in this show. And it's a tour de force performance here from Juliette Binoche, who I haven't seen for quite some time, but she is absolutely superb here, as Sophie, the original editor on the original documentary, who through editing this movie becomes infatuated with Michael and later falls in love with him, doing everything in her power to help the world realize that he truly is innocent. In her mind, at least. The children here are also fantastic in each of their roles. I haven't really seen much of Patrick Schwarzenegger in the past, but I thought he played Todd with an earnest innocence. And this is by far the best I've seen Sophie Turner here. She really plays Margaret with a huge emotional range, and shows her development as an actress. And Dane DeHaan also pulls off Clayton quite well. He's quite reserved and not sort of boisterous, but in the same breath, sometimes that's what the scene required. Look, whenever you're going to make a show about a true life crime like this, it will always be open to artist's interpretation, and therefore you will offend a lot of people along the way. Of course, the people that were living this at the time will have experienced it so much differently from what Antonio Campos puts forward for us to see. In saying that, though, it is a well-made show with some phenomenal acting performances, particularly here by Colin Firth and Toni Collette. Firth, for me, who usually plays the sort of mumbling British aristocrat, albeit well, really now goes into another sphere of his acting ability, with his usual sort of grumbled style of talking, but it just works oh so well here as Michael Peterson. And he truly brings out a layered, nuanced performance. It's a haunting tale of a woman dying far too young, creating a huge divide and anguish within a family, and a man either being sent to jail for something he didn't do, or on the other hand, being let out and not being punished for the crime that he did commit. For those who know the actual story of this case, there's no real shocking developments in the show. It really is just a retelling of what happened. Now, obviously, with these kind of shows, there's a lot of conjecture behind the scenes in what was actually said and done. But whether this is 100% accurate, I'm going to rate this show based on the presentation of it rather than the actual true story, as that is what the documentary is for. The Staircase is fascinating, well acted, and well presented, and therefore it gets a 9 out of 10.